Hello, everybody. Welcome to a life of Demi Grinder. I'm Demi Grinder, here for the Grinder's Verdict. And this is another one. I think day 8, I believe. Hopefully electricity will keep on running because there's quite the storm going on right now. So I don't know. Let's just only hope, you know what I mean? Anyways, today I want to give you guys a little bit of some lore of Demi Grinder, and tell you a little bit about myself and sort of like the reason why I'm choosing to pursue voice acting as a career opportunity or as a career choice. I think that's more accurate. And it all started in 2016 when somebody told me to sort of like pursue this because I had a good voice and I had quality, I had a good microphone and whatnot. But honestly, as I've said before, I've always liked creative stuff is the best way to put it. I've always enjoyed art, I've always enjoyed music, I've always enjoyed, the creative side to life. And it's interesting because in my family, there's no one really that I know that's interested in any of that. I think the majority of my family, honestly, they've always pursued like pretty standard, regular 9-to-5 jobs. So it's kind of like I'm literally the black sheep of the family. Anyways, so the thing is, when I was very young, when I was like 5, 6, 7, when I started to go to preschool, I think that's what you call it in English, for North American English. And in preschool, I started learning how to read and stuff like that, and I started getting really interested into it, and got really interested in it, and I started getting a lot into it, and I was always very, very good at reading, always. Like, ever since I started to read, I started to learn how to read, I was really good at it. And so that kind of led me to read a lot of books. Obviously at the time, childish books and stuff, but it's books nonetheless. And I was really one of the best. I've always been in school and everything else after school that I did that was involving like classes and whatnot. I was always one of the best reading. Because when I'm looking at something like a text to read, I am identifying the words, and when I'm saying the words, when I'm vocalizing the words, if you will, I'm sort of like at a word, and I'm already like reading a little bit ahead. So I barely made any mistakes, right? And unfortunately, and this could serve as a sort of like an inspirational thing for you or whatever, but if you think you are good at something and if you think that you could do that as a career, just try it, It doesn't hurt to try, and maybe you can make it a career and maybe you can have fun with it. You know what I mean? Because I started pursuing things that I didn't want to pursue, and I thought I wanted to pursue it, but I didn't. And that was causing me issues, and I wasted a lot of time. I hate to say waste because I didn't really waste anything, because to me, everything in life is an experience. Even the negative parts of life are all an experience. So therefore, in my opinion, I think that even the time that someone else would call like wasted, because, I went to do these vocational courses to learn electricity. And while I think it's a very interesting phenomenon, and I think it's, important to life nowadays because so many things, especially voice acting, is kind of done through the internet, and even without the internet, it's done with electricity as well to record the audio and stuff. So it's quite important. But it's just to work on it. It's just not really my thing, because it's like it involves a lot of like, even though you might think it doesn't, but it involves a lot of like social aspects to it, and you kind of like, and it's not even that, but honestly, when you like something, when you're doing something you like, you're gonna sort of like keep the things you learned throughout time, and you're gonna keep them, and you're gonna sort of like work on them, and you're gonna try to learn more, and you're gonna be interested in it. You're not gonna forget things. And I just forgot like 80% of what I learned throughout those vocational courses. So when I was working on electricity, thinking that I was actually like doing a good job or something, I wasn't. I was doing a terrible job because I forgot a bunch of stuff. So, there's some things that it's like, it's almost literally impossible to do a bad job, but some of them, yeah. And I was never good. Like, again, one of the main reasons why I'm pursuing voice acting and try to do this for a living is sort of like, I was never good with like measurements. I was never good with mathematics. I was never good with any of that. I was always terrible, like, sort of figuring out measurements to have things fit properly and stuff like that, and do the perfect cut. And I was always horrible, literally horrible with it. And it's just like, it's one of those things like, I'm good at being creative, so why should I keep on pursuing something that I'm not good at just because of society, just because that's like what's considered, the standard thing to do, especially where I live. Trust me, I don't, if you lived here and you were a creative individual, it's agony. It's pure agony. And it's one of those things that people don't understand. People don't really understand. Everybody speaks if you're not mute anyways. But for the majority of the people, they speak and they talk. And everybody that talks and speaks, they think they can be voice actors, whether they have a good voice or they just, they can impersonate things. But here's the thing. If you ever want to become a voice actor yourself, here's what I'm going to tell you. Stop impersonating people. Stop impersonating characters and stuff like that. Start focusing and working on your own voices. That's how I do it. That's how I go about it. It's okay sometimes to, like, for fun or whatever, to just do some like impersonation or something, but honestly, I rather very much work on my stuff from the get-go. It's much better, honestly, because it's like, it's my thing. I've developed that. And if someone else replicates that, fine, whatever. It's whoever does it first gets the bread, so to speak. But I rather do my own thing. I rather do my own voices. I rather just like go full on developing my own stuff rather than just like impersonating. And then, because you're going to be influenced no matter what. You are going to be influenced. If you do impersonations, you will be influenced no matter what. Trust me. It's just like you pick up a guitar, you start learning how to play the guitar, and then you go play some songs that are already composed, written, whatever you want to call it, and then you're going to try to create your own, and they're going to sound like what you created or what you try to play the most that was already created. Does that make sense? Because it's going to be influencing what you do, because that's where you developed your skills, was playing those songs. You learn those songs, you try to play those songs, so your skills are sort of like not stuck, because you can absolutely get out of it, but they're kind of like, once you start learning these songs and you start playing right away, try to create right away, it's going to sound a lot like what you played to learn those songs. So yeah, I'd rather do things without sort of like the influences, you know what I mean? And it's difficult, but it can also be very good, because it's, if you create something that you can tell sounds good to you or feels good to you or looks good to you, man, publish it. Just go for it. Publish it, let people know, advertise it, post it on social networks, Instagram, whatever, but post it. Let the world know that you created that, because that's the thing. Like sometimes sometimes I record voiceovers that I just hate. I listen to the voiceovers and I'm like, no, I'm gonna delete this, and I just delete things right away because it doesn't sound good to me. You know what I mean? Then there's voices as well that I'm just like practicing and whatnot and try to create new voices and stuff, and I'm just like, yeah, nah, I either can't do this voice or it just sucks and I hate how it sounds. So there you go. There's something to hopefully inspire you with your life. Just like I'll always say this, and I've been saying this a lot lately, but like literally just pursue whatever makes you happy. Even if you have to like keep a job that you don't really like so that you can pay the bills and live your life. But keep on chasing whatever makes you happy. You know what I mean? Because you never know. You never know. See, the world is full of people. There's billions of people. And amongst those billions of people, you have to understand there's the celebrities, are a very small niche. But how do they get to the celebrity status? You know what I mean? They got to get there somehow. Is it by working hard? Is it by luck for getting someone's contact and they manage to get some? A lot of people are like that. A lot of people get to a certain status in their lives because of luck, because of the contacts they had, because someone was bigger in the market and hey, I got a thing for you and come over. You know what I mean? So yeah. So I'm just gonna keep on doing the voiceovers, obviously not with this quality. This is a USB microphone. I have an XLR microphone where I record my stuff, you know what I mean? The voiceovers and stuff like that. Because this is just a microphone for convenience, because to record in the other microphone, I would have to turn on the laptop and stuff like that, and it takes a long time. So I only do it to like work, you know what I mean? Legitimate work. When it's this for like the podcasting and whatnot, it's just, it's a very casual thing. It doesn't really need that much professionalism. Damn, that was tough to say, and I don't even know if that's right or not. Anyways, thank you guys very much for listening. Hopefully this helps some of you who listens to this and might relate to me in any way, shape, or form. But yeah, thank you guys very much for listening to this point. You're amazing, and I'll see you guys in the next one. See you tomorrow.